Hi friends, very important discussion, and you must have seen lots of videos about how to write statement of purpose, especially when you're applying for a PhD program or a master's program from uh, universities other than India, and in fact, a lot of Indian private universities and universities across the world do ask you from you a very important document which is called statement of purpose. Unlike your CV or the profile or list of other documents, this document is unique because it does not only discusses about your achievements, it also asks you to write it in a theoretical paragraphic manner. And it doesn't matter how good we are in our ability to do mathematics or uh, uh, programming or coding or understanding other technicalities of biology or medical, but if you are not good enough to write your statement of purpose, chances are less that you will be able to impress the admission uh, juries or the members who are selecting your profile for the admission into the universities you're looking forward to have your admission. And and that's why it is very important for us uh, to know how to write statement of purpose. And the problem with statement of purpose is that you all you get is a white canvas to paint it with the letters and texts talking about you. Because in other methods, for example, if you're making a resume or a CV, they have a set of pattern that there are headings, there are subheadings, and there is a method, a pattern for you to follow and fill it. So these documents are not having lots of texts in it, not paragraphic text, not sentences, or the complex vocabulary. And probably this is why it is relatively easy to make uh, a, a profile or or a resume. But statement of purpose is different because it's a complete white paper, having no uh, no notations or no marks to tell you where to begin it from. So out of my 10 years of experience to help students in writing their statement of purpose, I have come across some mechanisms, some methods uh, through which we are able to produce good statement of purpose. So I hope I'll be able to explain it to you, and maybe if this helps, it will be really great for us. And do let us know if this helped you. Yep. So this document that you're seeing in front of you is very easy. So you can see that I have used very simple font, extremely simple font, and it is Times New Roman. And if you go by the size, it is 12 line spacing 1.5, and all the indent and gutter images and borders. Yep, so these are the things which you have to take care of. And you can take this specimen copy in the description link of this video. You can download it. So it will really help you to build your own. So don't change this. Yeah, so you have to begin, and it will be very easy for you to understand what I'm talking. So yeah, so the font size, the font type, format, paragraphs, indents, margin are all set in this document, and you can download it. That's the purpose. So you can take it from here. Next is that you have to write your name over here, whatever your name is, and in the inverted comma, you have to write something you strongly believe, uh, a mantra or a philosophy, a tagline, or somebody's statement which resonates with you very much, something you're very impressed with, and something you believe upon. You just don't write it for the sake of writing. It should be relatable to you, right? So this actually gives a first image of whose statement of purpose the auditor is reading. So that's why it gives a very clear idea in just one liner. So this one liner is very strong line which you extend in your communication, in your bid to claim your seat in the university you're eyeing for, right? And then the first para, so you can see that the first and last para are relatively smaller, other paragraphs are relatively bigger. So why it is so? Because uh, most of the times, though don't mistake me, in this situation, people will read each and every line of your document, but your most of the situations we face is called mental reading or mechanical reading. So though it is the job of the people, they are reading it thoroughly. They read in whatever possible they capacity they can, but if, again, we all are human, and how human psychology works is like we read the first para and we read the last para, and we assume about the rest of the paragraphs, and that's why we keep it smaller. Because when we keep it smaller, people tend to read it, but when we keep it bigger, people tend to just skip it. So that is one psychological reason. Another reason is that here we have to talk powerfully, uh, exhibit what we are trying to say, and there should be no fallacies and no filmsy commitment or hyper beyond level commitments or something like that. Yeah? So it has to be as truthful as, in fact, entire document has to be as truthful as it can. Yeah, so the first line is your relationship with the sentence that you have written above, and then you kind of give you the crux of how you claim that you belong to this university or you belong to this course, and this seat has to be given to you. It is in just one paragraph of say 70, 60 to 70 words. You are bidding your claim strongly that what it is. So in the paragraph, as you can read, I have written that what it should be in this paragraph. And if you see this document is having exact same amount of words your SOP should have, right? So it is somewhere around 1100 words I'm talking about. Yeah, 11. So yeah, 118 words is what I have written. 120 words. So roughly it has to be 1000 to 1200 words. Yep. So and 5 to 6 paragraphs, right? So that's the purpose. Right? So yep. So this is how you begin, right? So and then we talk about the next paragraph. I'm gonna give you the idea, right? It has to be talking about the experience and overall journey of you arriving to a decision of applying to a university and in the course you are seeking admission, right? The narration should be natural and obvious looking. So no film settings, it has to be very obvious. The language, the vocabulary has to be very strongly knitted, all small sentences, nice appropriate words is what you will be applying here. Yep. So the next paragraph is the evidence paragraph, right? In the paragraph you're talking about your evidences of academic success. So your numbers, like in which subject you've been the best performer, and is that the subject linked to the subject you or the course you're taking your admission into, right? So the objective of you telling about your academic success is uh, to let the auditor or the jury know that you actually belong to this particular subject and course, right? So you're eligible to apply it for. So eligibility is a wrong word. Basically, you are worthy of taking admission in this particular thing. Right, so let's go to page number 2. I will help you talk about this. Yeah, so in this paragraph, we are talking about your non-academic achievements, right? So you have discussed in the last paragraph about your academic achievements. This paragraph is talking about your non-academic achievements, because a personality is incomplete if not attentive to other social and general issues. So you just are having academic success is not a sufficient evidence of you being a full grown personality. So that's why you have to talk about your non-academic achievements here, right? That may be a blood donation camps, can be a sports tournament, can be any awareness programs, social activity, participating in some disaster management, control management, or helping any individual into a roadside traffic or whatever. But this thing has to something which should tell you that you are a complete person having right kind of emotions and ambitions and feelings like any human body is. Next paragraph, we talk about uh, right. So we talk about your personal life, right? A story without a human touch and emotionally vulnerable character is not complete. So here we go emotionally, we talk about our family, our parents, our ancestors, our philosophy, family's value systems, where are we drawing that family value systems, how everybody in your family are committed to give you the best education possible, and how you think that your education will help contributing into the value system of your family. So you can talk a lot about your family, about your religious belief and feeling, but make sure that you are not trying to compare somebody's value systems or religious value systems, and you're not uh, even by any chance offending others, because chances are very likely that the person who is auditing your SOP does not belong to the same religion you belong to. Great. So for that, for the same reason, you should be very cautious about offending the other's feeling. And the last paragraph is the packaging of the entire thing that you have written in your SOP. It should be the summary or the conclusion of everything that you have written above, and the line should be extremely power packed, right? It should quickly tell that why you think you're the best fit for the kind of seat you're seeking for. Tell about the university, how did you hear about that university, and why that university is the most apt university for you to pursue the kind of education you want to pursue, and how you're going to be an asset to them as a student, as an alumni for the lifetime. So give them something to be proud of as a university, or as a person working in that particular university. So this is normally the structure of the statement of purpose, right? So please download this file from the description table. I have given my comments. You can remove this comment whenever you want to. And the formatting, the methods, what should be in that particular paragraph, everything is written here in absolute detail. I hope this document and this video will be helpful for you. And if it is helpful, do let us know by comment, and share it among the people who need it. Thank you very much. Thank you.